Welcome to Gulfstream Park West. Welcome to the Gulfstream Park West Handicapping Show. Ron Nicoletti along with Pete Aiello, and beautiful day here in South Florida. It is one of the Chamber of Commerce days, breezy conditions, beautiful fast main track, firm turf course today. Double stakes action. We got the showing up, the Cellar Shiraz. Should be a fun day of racing.
Yeah, good day of racing indeed, and what a Breeders' Cup distaff. We would be remiss if we didn't mention that. That's a race we'll be talking about for decades.
Yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable. People I were watching with everybody just screaming on the top of their lungs, you know, for either Songbird or Beholder, and you can't get any closer to that, I don't think. It was a lot of fun, and just goes to show you when these great racemans hook up together, what happens. You know, Beholder retiring, but Songbird now the new champion.
Yeah,
I mean, she'll take over.
Hopefully we get a great campaign out of her as a 4-year-old next year as well. So congratulations to all the connections. There was really no winner or no loser in that race. Both horses ran their heart out, and racing got a big victory. Yeah,
Songbird first time against older horses, too, so you can say a lot for that, and it was like this much, so lots of fun. We have 10 races, I mentioned, double stakes action this afternoon. Let's go through the wagering menu now. We're going to start it off. Every race that has 7 or more runners will have a rolling super high fives throughout the afternoon. That's a $1 wager. Pete's going to have a pick 5 ticket right here in race number 1. Did yesterday's hit?
Yep.
Again, that's 2 days in a row. I thought it did, you know. So Pete's been on fire. Pay attention to that ticket when it comes up. And then we go to the Rainbow Six today, and it is race number 5, and the carryover is starting to build. It's up past $2,000 right now. So, and then we end the day with our final pick 5 of the afternoon. Always a great wager, and we'll see how that plays out. As I mentioned, just a beautiful day here in South Florida. So, first race, Pete, on with the action. 5 furlongs on the turf. An allowance optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up, or that optional claiming price of $25,000. A couple of scratches in here, the 5 Cattree and the main track only, number 9 Trev. Now let's take a look at your ticket.
Well, I'm going to try to do what I've been doing. I'm trying to get a stay alive and make a stand later on in the sequence. I thought this race was not as easy as it will likely be bet. I'm going to go 4 deep in here. I'll use the 3, Hold On Smokey. Ronnie, he's a 20-time winner. Hold On Smokey. We'll see if we can get him winning number 21 here today. Number 6, Swag Bag, remains in great form. He'll be coming from off the speed. I think Duffel Bag will be sharp off the shelf for Dane Kabisky, and the likely favorite is the Christophe Clement Invader Seas. I don't know how he'll trip out in here. I think he is a vulnerable favorite, but he's a deserving favorite nevertheless. 2 deep in the second. It can only be won by the 2 or 3. That's a free square if you go both of them. I'll go 3 deep in the third. That's a tricky race. I'll use Mr. Kiss's 2-step time and Coping Away. Single comes in race number 4 on the program. Candy Jam or bust for me. I think his last race was not a fluke, and I'm against Lil Meatball in there, who's likely to be heavily favored. Close it out 3 deep. Grand Topoy, Silver Lucky Q, and if he didn't have the 12 post, he'd have been a single for me. Spanish Armada, $36 play to try to make it 3 days in a row.
That'll be 3 days in a row, and very affordable tickets. And so, you know, write that down there, and throughout the afternoon you can watch and wager along with Pete. And you talked about the 8 C's, a sharp second sprinting on the grass up at Saratoga. Now we're going to turn back to 5/8 today after setting the pace and fading. That was an entry-level allowance test. It was going a mile on the Belmont turf. Christophe Clement, you know, winter's approaching. We got Christophe Clement in the entries. And this one, Edgar Zayas. Edgar Zayas, bang-up day yesterday with 4 victories. I like this horse today a lot. I know you think he's vulnerable. I don't.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing really to say that Caesar won't win easy. I felt like the draw was a blessing and a curse at the same time. He's drawn outside so he can let the speed develop in front of him, but if he gets spun 4 or 5 wide, because there is a lot of other speed in here, Starship Thor and Duffel Bag, just to name a pair, then I don't really know what's going to happen with him. I don't know that 5/8 is his lick. He's never tried that. He's tried longer distances, so I'm trying to beat him, but I do think he's the horse to beat.
Well, the horse you're going to beat him with is a horse I did not use on my ticket, and that's the horse you just alluded to, and that is Duffel Bag.
Well, Duffel Bag is fired fresh in the past. He's won over this course. It was his only race over this course. And oh, by the way, he was coming off a layoff in that particular race. That was last November here at Gulfstream Park West. He is a fast racehorse. Roberto Alvarado and Dane Kabisky hook up here. I think he's faster than C's early. I think he'll take the early lead, and I'll see if he's fit enough to hold off some horses like C's and the late running of Swag Bag. I like him here. I think he'll offer you some value.
Yeah, some value for sure. He was in Indiana Grand before in his last race back in June, but that turned out to be a pretty good race. So, good pick there. When you go back and look at it now, he's definitely going to be on there playing catch me if you can. It looks like he'll be part of the pace. I went to the inside with the 1, and that is Starship Thor. This one likes this course. 2 starts, a win and a second. Returns after a couple of solid sprints up Monmouth, in which he defeated 16 two-lifetime claimers at 5.5, and was beaten neck going to 5 furlongs and an optional claimer in his last. His horses have been in good form. Jane Sibeli does an excellent job with these sprinters, and one of our horses first at the meet starting here.
Yeah, and I just, for me, I didn't know how he classed up against this field. You have a 20-time winner who's going to be the longest shot on the race. Starship Thor is actually a 3-time winner, so we'll see how it plays out. Cease's non-winners are 2 eligible also, so Cease is going to have to beat multiple winners as well.
Well, the only horse we agreed on was Swagbag in here, and this one who does his best work from coming from that stalk close position. He rallied to finish second, 35 optional claimers at the distance. Maybe he sits the trip behind the speed, especially if Duffelbag goes out there and unfurls a strong early kick.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was exactly what you said, the stalking closing type style. I think he has the best propensity to get that trip, and I'm going to use him to get that trip. He's been in awfully good form lately, although he's been freshened up since September.
So Pete going for 3 in a row with his early pick 5 ticket, so we'll see how that works out. Race number 2 this afternoon, 6 furlongs, claimers 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life, $6,250. And I went with the number 3 on top in here, Nutty Boy, and I've just been enamored with this horse's, last couple of races. I want to go back and show you a performance. And of course, I always use this as a way to ask Pete a question in here. So I'm going to show you the Nutty Boy stretch run last time out. Nutty Boy is stretching out in distance where he broke his maiden. He's turning for home now. He's on the lead. Joey Sixpack is on the lead here. And, Joey Sixpack and him dueling through the stretch. And Joey Sixpack has got the advantage now. What I saw here was now Nutty Boy, you'll see, start to fight back again. Now, my question to you is, I always ask you this question, was Joey Sixpack tiring, or was Nutty Boy re-rallying and coming on and running pretty darn good in there? I thought he came back, and I thought he might win it again.
I think it was more the latter. I think it was more Joey Sixpack coming back to Nutty Boy.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you can make the case that they both pulled well clear of the 3rd place horse, so maybe it was a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Not just like Nutty Boy off that performance, Antonio Sano, Edgar Zayas in the saddle this afternoon, but I could absolutely understand putting Nero D. I think it's the overwhelming favorite in this race, 6-5 on the morning line, dropping to this level today.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, I picked him on top because I just think running style-wise he has to win, but he's had to have won his last 2 races. He's been odds-on in his last 2, and he didn't, and he hasn't had any excuse in either one. He adds blinkers here this afternoon to try to keep him a little bit more focused, but the tipping point for me was this was his 2nd start over the course. He had an alibi last time out. Horse spotter Carl sprinted to a clear lead, and Nero D had never been over this course. And I also think Ali Car Flash, who's the likely 3rd place finisher in this race, is going to duel Nutty Boy. I don't know if Nutty Boy can sit. He did last time. He'll have to today.
Yeah, and talking about Ali Car Flash now in the Fernando Abreu barn. So I think we got the logical 3. We got him flip-flopped a little bit around there. Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon. Beautiful breezy conditions out here today. So
the showing up stakes at a mile over the turf. I'll take over. You just toss me the ball here.
Yeah, go right ahead.
We have a field of 7 signed on in here. This is the co-feature race, and even though we only have 7, the 7-horse field is very, very competitive. I don't know about you, Ronnie. I don't have a strong opinion in this race.
This one is a wide-open affair, really. I did go with the number 3, Keystone for Victory, on my ticket, on top of my ticket, debuting locally for trainer Mike Maka, cutting back to a mile today. Goes up, he prompts the pace, he fades, he finished 5th, but that's the grade 3, 9 furlong, Kent up at Delaware. This is a son of Shakespeare. I want to go back and show you his performance right here at Gulfstream, the course town at Gulfstream, when he ran really well in the 49er Stakes. I just thought it was such an impressive performance. So we're going to go back and show you. And 49er that day is the number. You'll see him come running here, and he just does an incredible job here. It looks like he's going to be pressured a little bit, and then he just draws off and wins it in here.
Yeah, he put up racehorse fractions of 23 and 2. He didn't let up to the half. half in 46-2, then went 3/4 in 110-2. He moved right along over the turf course that particular afternoon, which is why they put him in against Graded Stakes Company off of that performance. He hasn't been seen since. My question was simple: does he need one?
Yeah, does he need one? I just thought off that performance, and Mike Maker does an excellent job with horses coming off the bench, and off that I put him on the top of the ticket. But I'm in agreement with you, Pete. Pretty wide open. Now, you did go with the number 5 horse on top of your ticket, and that is Two Step Time.
Well, the same story can be said for him. This is the other Mike Maker horse. Two Step Time has something that number 3, Keystone for Victory, does not have. He has experience and success over this race course. He's raced here twice. He has a win and a third, and his last race was at Arlington in a little overnight stake. He didn't run at all that day, but that was over the synthetic main track. He's proven that he likes the turf better than he likes the main track. This horse is a stakes winner. He won in Houston in February. He'll need to rally from off the speed, but I see some speed in here.
Oh, no, there's some speed in here. I think he sits the trip. If things get dicey, get really a strong pace up front, it sets up for Two Step Time. So I actually have an all-maker exactor in there, but I know that you had some interest. I really didn't know what to do with this horse, Mr. Kisses, who's, moving to the turf this afternoon. He's fast.
I didn't know what to do with him either, but here, let me show you, and you tell me how you can leave this horse off the ticket based on this replay. Yeah. Simply based on the replay. It's his last race. It was $150,000 Foolish Pleasure state-bred stake at Gulfstream Park. This is Mr. Kisses down inside. Oh, by the way, the horse on the outside of him is Awesome Banner, a multiple graded stakes winner. Awesome Banner's going 2 to his 1 at this point. Mr. Kisses cuts the corner, and look at this. This isn't Beholder against Songbird, but it might as well be. Neither one of these horses yielding at all. They're nip and tuck, 16th pole. Mr. Kisses takes the lead again. I thought Mr. Kisses was going to edge back away, and then Awesome Banner surged on the outside. That is a horse race, to say the least. 2 things to say about that. One, it was over the main track. He's never been on the turf going long. He has tried to sprint over the turf. And the other thing about that is, running that well, is he set up to bounce.
And he's 0 for 2 on the turf.
Yeah, but they're both 5/8, though. That doesn't count. It's both 5/8.
Doesn't count.
No, it's apples to apples and orange to orange. You're trying to give me an apricot for my apple here.
Well, if he translate that performance onto the turf, it's going to be very dangerous. But he's one of the horses I said that's going to be part of the pace this afternoon. So setting it up maybe for a closer like Two Step Time. Now, the other horse I used in here, Pete, you had in 4th, is Franklin Towers, dropping, turning back to a mile after opening, and then giving up a 2-length lead when fading to 8th. It was a 9-furlong Grade 2 Commonwealth at Pimlico last time out. He's got to go. He's got to go. I think that's his thing. So we're talking about a lot of speed in here. So whoever carves out this perfect trip in here, is it Keystone for Victory or is it Two Step Time? That's the two. I
Keystone for Victory's got more tactical speed than Two Step Time does. So in my view, the 1, 2, 3, and 6 will all be forwardly placed, which is why the 5 and 7 are on top of my tickets. Two Step Time with proven ability over this course, and Coping Away should not be excused. He won a tough 2 other than at Saratoga 2 races ago. The only thing about this horse, and I guess it's just a throwback, this is his 19th start of the year.
You took the words right. I said he doesn't miss many dances, so he's coming to, if he jumps up and wins, I would not be surprised. And he's got he's going to end up sitting a pretty good trip in here too, Coping Away. So, as Pete mentioned when he led you into this race, this is a wide open affair in here this afternoon.
Indeed it is. The 4th race of the afternoon at 6 furlongs. Claimers in for a $6,250 price tag. They've not won 3. This race is not as wide open as the 3rd race. The storyline is simple. Ronnie likes meatballs. Lil Meatball taking a major class drop in today's 4th race. I don't like him. I think this is a steep class drop for a horse that a year ago was winning a stake over this course.
Well, you misspoke there just a little bit. I got him on top, but I don't love him in here. I call him a shaky call. Little Meatball plunge into this level, rebounded from a poor showing on the turf. He comes back. He runs 4th last time out. I went back and looked at that race at 25 condition claimer at the distance. He had any chance to run better in there than he did. He's dropping down and put him on the ticket. But the horse that you have singled, Candy Jam, might end up being the right horse in this race. But I just couldn't leave Little Meatball off the top of my ticket. He's been one of my favorite horses. They're dropping him down. Maybe they just want him to win.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. And The reason I singled Candy Jam in this race was I didn't like Little Meatball, but I think those two are leaps and bounds above the rest of the field in this particular race. You know, there is a theory as far as Little Meatball goes. They're plunging him in for 62.5. Maybe he's okay, but they just don't know where to run him in the Champions Meet and want him to be somebody else's problem for a while.
Well, that could absolutely be it. So, you know, Candy Jam stepping up as the next level. He stalked. He drew away. He was rather impressive. That was going 7 furlongs the last time out. Now, horse, I want to give you some homework. Number 7, Joey Sixpack, going to try and make it 2 in a row after leading every step of the way to defeat my second race choice, and that's Nutty Boy, going 5.5 furlongs last time out. I think you used that handicapping, the second race as a handicapping guide, and maybe if you know, Nutty Boy runs really good in there, you bump up Joey Sixpack a little bit.
I don't think Joey Sixpack wants 3/4 anyway, so you're asking him to step up and try a distance. He's not at his best. That's why I think the 2 and 4 are much the best horses in here. Candy Jam has to improve. His last race was against the suspect field, and suspect to say the least, because there's the race that produced next out runners. Well, who were they? Magno Hemplo and 1 Million. They both ran the other day. They both ran bad. Yeah. So Candy Jam has to improve, but I think second start for the Tammy Levy barn, that's a likely option.
Well, that's how we see race number 4. We'll take anything else before we head to the thing. You want to talk about the 6? No? Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'll show you my Rainbow 6 ticket, and I'm trying to make it 1 in a row.
Next January, 12 horses, $1 million buy-in for a $12 million purse. It is the world's richest race. It is the Pegasus World Cup.
Welcome back. It's Ron and Pete, and we're trying to give you some useful information this afternoon. Our 5th race is going to be a 1-mile turf event. Claim is 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life, $8,000. And we don't make the first leg of the Rainbow 6 very easy. We've got 12 runners, a full field, and this is a really fun race to watch and both wager on. So here, let's show you my ticket real quickly here. I got a $43.20 ticket. And I went 3 deep in here, and I used the 3, 5, 11, and 12. I thought those were the logical 2, 3, 2, 3, and then 2 in the end. $43.20. Almost thought a single in the 3 in the last race as my single. Well, you know, our other stake of the afternoon. I will talk about that in a bit. But $43.20. And interested to see, Pete, how you doped out this 5th race.
Well, I think I alluded to it earlier. If Spanish Armada wasn't in the 12 gate, he would be much the best horse here. The 12 post is so hard to win on this course.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I put my analysis today, be on the top of my ticket if it wasn't the outside draw. So I went with the number 3 Grand Toupee. And this one, dropping a notch, stretching out 2 mile. Toupee?
It doesn't matter. It's definitely not Toupee.
Toupee, I meant there. So rallying to finish 4th in a 10,000 condition claimer on the Gulfstream Park turf. Victor Barboza Jr., Edgar Zayas in the saddle.
This horse takes a sneaky drop in class. His last race was against better racehorses. Starship Frontier came back to step up, and this horse definitely has a big look in here. He has some figures that would be plenty good enough to win this race, but the same can be said for other contenders, and he will take some money here.
Yeah, so what about the 2 in here?
The 2 is a very interesting horse. He actually just beat your top play. Silver Lucky Q is a horse that went favored last time out. There is a concern here. He's been on this course 3 times. He has no success over this course. Does he just not like this course, or have there been mitigating factors in those races? I don't know the answer to that. What I do know is any of his races off the layoff, except for that last one, would be plenty good enough to win this race. He was a winner 3 starts back. He was 3rd 2 starts back, beating your top play.
Yeah, but I just just didn't like that performance last time out. I had used him last time. He made that move. He just flattened out and didn't run. And, I went with that. Now that we talked about the 12 Spanish Armada, his claiming tag sliced in half. He's breaking from that post. They're closing to finish fourth. 16 three-lifetime claimer at the distance. I think it's a good performance. This horse, if he can get a good position, he can certainly win this race.
He sure can. I mean, all he has to do is take a minor step forward. He doesn't even really need to take that big a step forward, just a small one, and I think he's a major player, but the 12 post means he's going to have to overcome some trouble.
Well, the horse right to its inside, number 11, Union Vow, is going back to the lawn after following a well-meant third place finish against this level of competition. That was going 7.5. Comes back, he runs fifth, but it's a race moved to 5 furlongs on the sealed sloppy track. I just thought off his, the race 2 back, that maybe he can run well in here and grab a shot. I don't know what he's on the morning line 5 to when he's actually third choice on the morning line.
Well, he'll be in front. The key question there is what will happen when the stretch-out speed of Love Dakota Sky tries to keep him company. What do you know about Dakota Sky? You're a Dakota Sky fan?
I am not a Dakota Sky fan.
All right.
Are you?
Nah, not really.
Yeah. So, she's a good-looking bud. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
you got that. I actually didn't think you would get that, so I was waiting for you. But you got that. Good job.
What do you think now? I wouldn't know who Dakota Sky is?
Yeah, I thought that would be something you wouldn't partake in.
No, I'm up on all the modern stuff here today. Get to race 6, will you?
Race number 6, maidens on the bottom of $12,500 price tag. If you're in the market, 6 furlongs to the journey here. I went with a horse who ran lights out in the debut. It doesn't show that, but based on her performance, I think she's primed for a big effort. Number 7, Dark Image. She didn't earn a very good figure in that race because, frankly, she didn't come out of a very good race. But she did have some trouble. She had very little interest in the early stages. She gets more ground to work with, and she has a race under her belt. What else do I need to tell you?
Trained by Efren Loza Jr., and we're going to show you a stat on Dark Image over the last 5 years. Efren Loza Jr. with 2-year-olds making their second career start on the dirt. A limited sampling, but he's 5 for 12. Get this, 42% win average, 92% of the time in the money with a $2.66 ROI. So sort of belies, makes your pick look a little better.
92% in the money. That's great. I don't know if we have 92% anything.
I know. I just thought it was a great stat. I love when I'm looking at these stats and you just pop up there. So, but I did go with the number 9, Heaven's Doors. Claiming tag sliced in half today. First starts in tracking the action, finishing third. It was a 25 maiden test at the distance. It's Kathleen O'Connell. It's Luca Panici. This is a daughter of Wildcat Air, and I just thought on the drop, Kathleen O'Connell, respect everything she does. I'm out here each and every day, and every one of our horses that comes here to get saddled looks absolutely fantastic.
I had one question, and it's somewhat of a rhetorical question. Heaven's Door was third last time out. She got beat 5 lengths by Little United. That was for $25,000.
Right.
Little United, if she was in this race, would win by about 15 at 1-9.
Right.
The question then becomes, why didn't she run back for 25? She was plenty competitive.
And maybe, like you said earlier, they're just looking for a spot for this horse to win, so it can be a similar thing. And one thing about Kathleen O'Connell, we're singing her praises, and rightly so, is she spots them where they can win.
That's
so
true.
that'll help her there. So what else you have in here? The number 6 horse in here, Amazing Amelia.
Well, I used 2 first-time starters underneath. The number 8, Gracie Alita for Antonio Alzano. She makes a stable debut today with a bug rider named to ride. Not sure what to make of that, but I always am intrigued by Sano runners, especially first time. And Antonio Machado gets overlooked on the first-time starting side of things. He has a positive ROI in most categories in this race. Edgard Zayas takes the call here. That's intriguing on itself, and she'll be a nice price.
Yeah, Edgard Zayas, we had one last week. He paid double-digit odds. Just Edgard Zayas, always good to follow where the top jockeys are going. I will Pasadena on that one, and Dakota Sky. Race number 7, 1 mile and 160.
You got to leave it alone. We're in enough trouble as it is.
Claiming 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, or 3-year-olds, 30,000 down to 25,000. We have a jockey change in here on the number 1, Make the Rider, Sammy Camacho. I didn't get the main track only scratch before it came on the air, but our track announcer Chris will update you on all the scratches and everything you need right after we're done here. I did go to the outside, and so did you, Pete. We're in agreement here with the number 10, Extreme Justice.
We need to hire a statistician for this program because it's invariable that the toughest race on the card, you and I pick the same horses. And that's not, we don't need a statistician for that.
Right.
What I want to know is what is the ROI in those situations?
We'll have to see what that is. So why did you pick Extreme Justice?
I loved his last race. He comes out of a great race. Little Nick V he was stakes tested. He backed up his maiden score. I was not a fan of his maiden score. I thought that was a fluke. I like the fact that he kept his form last time out. He needs to run the same race that he's run the last 2 times, and he'll be a very big threat here.
Yeah, I thought he ran well, but I don't agree with you on that. I thought the maiden win was really nice on this horse, so that is one of my reasons for using it. He stalked the action. He finished third in a competitive 16 optional claimer here at the distance, so Extreme Justice on the top of my ticket. Then we start to differ a little bit. I went with the 5 Salt Mine, debuting locally after returning from the layoff up on the Meadowlands turf, stalking the pace throughout and getting beat ahead in a 25,000 two-lifetime claimer at the distance. The trainer is Tim Hills. He's now a perfect 2 for 2 at the Gulfstream Park West meeting. He won yesterday, a horse that you did not like. Eddie Castro atop the son of Escondrea. So Tim Hills, 2 horses, run, 2 wins.
Actually, I don't think he's perfect because I think maybe that was a Sabelli horse. I think he ran the one horse in the first yesterday. But
oh, maybe I'm wrong. So, but he's got 2 wins out of 3 then. If not,
the barn's firing on all cylinders. That's all you need to know.
Right.
If you are looking at the past performances, you'll see Salt Mine has not run well over this course. I would argue with you that that's not fair because he's a completely different racehorse now than he was then.
That's well, yeah, I don't know about that.
What do you mean? I'm supporting you. You're supposed to agree with me. This horse ran as a 2-year-old on turf at Gulfstream Park West. It was against tougher horses. Now he's a different racehorse, and he's spotted where he can win. You're supposed to agree. I'm helping you.
All right. I just didn't agree your reasoning there, but
okay, whatever. Let's go to the 3 Mystic Sky. Mystic Sky went favored in his last race. He hasn't been seen since. Phil Gleaves has won with the horse off an extended vacation in recent memory. I figured maybe he can do it again. Panici rides the turf course here very well. Upset possibility.
Number 2. My Bucky's boy stepping up to face winners, shipped in from the Jersey Shore and defeated 35 maidens here going a mile. Eddie Plesa Jr., Nick Juarez going for 2 in a row. What was wrong with this horse's performance? I thought he ran well. I mean, he's stepping up. He's making that next jump up. Of course, you understand that. And, hard to do it. But and we're not talking about horses that maybe don't win it, but can certainly be on the ticket somewhere.
I guess so. I just thought it was a major step up in class for him. The one thing I want you to take away from this race, if you're watching this telecast ever, this is now, or if you go back on YouTube and watch it 3 years from now, the allowance optional 16 are always tougher races than the lifetime condition $30,000 claimers. And the reason why is very simple. It's an A other than, but we also allow the hard-knocking our 16 claimers to run at it as well. So when you look at this race, these horses are stepping up. No, they're not. They're actually dropping.
Good point. Actually, a good point. Yeah, I give you credit for
Even
that
a broken clock's right twice a day. But let's move now. Ronnie's having trouble with his pages again. So we'll move to the 8th race on the program, maidens of the $10,000 variety. They race 6 furlongs. This race, I thought it was pretty cut and dry. Outside here at 9-8, 8-9. You agree?
Yeah. Eric's Talisman is stretching out a half furlong after returning from that fresh. He recovered from a little bit of a bobbling incident that started to finish second as the favorite, going 5.5. Savvy Son, I think has a big shot, and he expected to offer more. He responded to a drop in competition, surface switch with a 3rd place finish behind the horse named after Pete, and that's Nutty Boy. So Nutty Boy is a horse you're going to have to watch in the first race because his name is through the entries throughout this afternoon. So what do you think, Nutty Boy? Do you agree? It's 8-9 or 9-8?
I thought Savvy Son was named after me. You're taking shots all over the place here. I think it is 8-9, 9-8. For me, it was just a scenario. The 9, to quote the great football coach Denny Green, they are who we thought they were. This is Eric's Talisman's 11th run. We know who he is. Savvy Son is being asked to improve. He has improved some. He needed the class drop last time out, and I think he has a chance to improve yet again today.
Yeah, and you get the little better price with the number 8, the 9 being the 2-1 morning line favorite. Discreet Manner is another stretching out after rallying from way back. This one was 10 lengths off the pace. He finished 4th behind aforementioned Eric's Talisman, going 5.5 last time out, getting some added real estate. Maybe jumps up and grabs a share of the exacta or trifecta.
8-9, 8-9 with all. Moving to the 9th race, maiden claimers over the turf course at 7.5 furlongs. $25,000 the claiming price here. This race, Tough. I did it, tough. I spelled it.
I was counting on my fingers to make sure you had it right there. T-O-U. 7.5 furlongs, as you mentioned. I went with Draft. It has her claiming tag sliced in half, stretching out around 2 turns. This is a 7.5 furlong distance. Finished a useful sixth in her $50,000 career debut, going 5 on the grass. Ronnie Werner, want to go back and show you a stat on Ronnie Werner over the last 5 years with 2-year-olds making second career start on the turf. 5 for 17. 29%, really nice percentage. In the money, 29% of the time. So wins at 29, in the money at 29, positive return of investment of $3.24. And I think this daughter of Dialed In certainly bred to respond favorably to the added real estate. These Dialed Ins have been running good as they go longer. So the Draft, for all those reasons, on top of my ticket.
2 reasons I put the 11 on top of the 10, although I agree with Ronnie on the top pair. Taco Wayne's shot comes from a barn who, it's absolute fact, races his horses into shape. This horse ran well in the debut, so I liked her last time. She ran well last time as well. She is the horse in this race of everybody in here, regardless of what's happening. She's the only horse to run second on this course at this distance.
What about post 11?
Well, what about post 10?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But usually you just toss them when they're out there. But
well, we're just going to have to. I mean, I think the 10's in a worse shape than the 11 because the 10's going to show more speed than the 11.
That's true.
Panici will just take a rainful, drop over, and try to thread the needle later.
Number 4, La Lova, is wheeling back at the same level in distance after making a move to get the lead. Flattened out in that race to finish third, but was 59-1. And where did it finish behind? The horse Pete was just talking about, Taco Wayne's shot. Here's a horse perfect for the Super High Five or the Superfecta ticket or something like that.
Yeah, it was her first start around 2 turns. It was her first start on turf. I thought it was a fluke. That's why she didn't be used in my ticket. The 9, Ronnie, I can't believe you don't have the 9 on the ticket. Is she scratched or something?
No.
Operatic for Dave Falk. She was 3-1 on debut against special weight horses, and the race came back to produce a horse in Procurador who took tons of money against special weights again. She needs a drop in class, but she also needs a little bit more real estate. She has Maudlin on the bottom side of her pedigree. Maudlin, of course, sired Meckie. Meckie loved grass, so the grass doesn't bother me at all. Operatic, Matt Rispoli, and Dave Falk, you dismiss at your own risk.
T-O-U-G-H. It's a tough race. You can only pick some, and that is the reasoning here. And it's a great race. And the best part about it, it's a great betting race. You leave the 9 out, you get caught, you put it in. Does it cost you extra money? And that's the beauty of this. I'm going with Draft, the 10, 11, and 4. And, I threw the 1 on the ticket, too. So we'll see how that race plays out. Great race. We're ending the day, Pete, with our second stakes race of the afternoon, 1 mile on the turf, 3-year-old fillies, $75,000. The Sellers Shiraz, scratch the number 7, DDZ. And I know we both like the number 3 in here, and that is Gypsy Eyes.
Yeah, Gypsy Eyes, I want to leave you some meat on the bone to talk about why you like her. I like her simply based on her last race. She was extra impressive. We're going to show that to you now. It was her stateside debut. She was coming over from Ascot in England, and she ran just lights out. You could not have asked a horse to do any better than she did in that particular race. She was sent to the front. She was confronted by a variety of horses, and frankly, she just kicked on with something in reserve. I liked the performance from Gypsy Eyes. I know you did as well.
And exact reasoning you had there, too. That it looks like she was getting challenged there, and she just threw it into another gear and going there, and they hit her a couple of times just to keep her interested. I don't think they even had to. That's how impressive she was. This horse made a late run, but was never going to catch this filly. I just think it's very impressive, Gypsy Eyes. And I think this horse, you'll see this horse throughout the winter campaign at our championship meet, winning a couple of more stakes.
The thing about it is, too, she made her stateside debut a winning one. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, so there is possibility she's even better now than she was then, and that's scary.
Yeah, and that's scary, and what a perfect setup for her to go into the championship meet, as I said. Now, we both went with the 9 Princess, debuting locally after following a respectable 5th, I thought, in the Grade 3 Commonwealth Oaks up at Laurel. Second place finish, just beaten a length by older horses. That was a tough 2 other than allowance race up at Keeneland last time out. This horse keeping some great company.
I'm a big Ben Colebrook fan as well, so I'd never ignore his horses, especially on turf.
Now, you went way outside with the 14.
But Pancake's a stakes winner on this course. There's something to be said for that. I know post 14. I know. But she's going to be a nice number because people are going to go 14. Yeah, right. And listen, like I said, she is a stakes winner over this course. She's multiple stakes placed. Actually, she's a multiple stakes winner because she won a race at the fairgrounds after she won the race here at Gulfstream Park.
Well, I'm going to end it with the 5 Temple Fur making her first start since a sparkling summer campaign in which he followed a second-place finish. That was in the Christmas Pass with a commanding score in the Betsy Ross on July 4th. Look at that bullet work recently, 57-4. They have drilled some speed into this horse for the comeback.
I agree. She is definitely a contender here. I worry about that work. That seems awfully fast to me, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if that's what they asked for, but that's what they got in the morning. So that's how Pete and I see the card.
That's a beautiful segue to this telecast today. We're not sure it's what management asked for, but it's what management got. And the great news is, folks, whether you like it or not, we're going to be back tomorrow because Acacia and Gabby are still in California.
Yeah, and what a great day tomorrow. You're talking about some great hard-knocking races tomorrow.
I feel like you and I should do tomorrow's show. We have affinity for the hard-knocking claimers, and that's what we'll have tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, really 10 exciting races. You get a chance, take a look at your online on GulfstreamPark.com and check out the entries for tomorrow. It's going to be a great betting day.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll have some opinions because this is my kind of race.
He loves this stuff.
What do I love about horse racing? Everything.